Hi, good day. My name is Amma Duncan. I am founder of the Fabulous Woman Network and Fab Hub Ashanti. I bring you greetings from my children's room in a very sunny Kumasi. I hope all is well with you. So once again, I have the opportunity and privilege to bring you the FWN book club or book review, really, for February 2020. The book I posted for us to read or to encourage us to read was Eat, Pray, Love, a book by Elizabeth Gilbert, a book loved by many, many, many women. I had the opportunity to read this book a couple of years ago, and then recently I had to read it again before going to Bali because I really needed to note down some things to look out for while I was there. And I hope you've read it, but if you haven't, I want to encourage you to find it on Amazon, or you can reach out. I may actually post a link or a number for someone you might get the book from if you're in Ghana. It's really a power packed book. There were so many lessons, but for the purpose of this review, I'm just going to share three simple lessons I had from this book. Before I do that, I just want to say that the reason I do these reviews, I just want to encourage us to read. I believe there's so much magic in reading, so much knowledge, discoveries. I mean, it's priceless, and I know it can be quite difficult for some of us to read, especially if you're a mother, wife, career woman, and all that. But make time to read because there's magic in reading. So just the background to this book. Elizabeth, some of you may know her already. She's a great author. I love her writings. Her wit, she's funny and raw and all that. I love that about her. The background to this book, I'm just going to read from the back, a brief from the back of the book. It says, in her early 30s, Elizabeth Gilbert had everything a modern American woman was supposed to want: husband, country home, successful career. But instead of feeling happy and fulfilled, she felt consumed by panic and confusion. This wise and rapturous book is the story of how she left behind all these outward marks of success and of what she found in their place. Following a divorce and a crushing depression, Gilbert set out to examine three different aspects of her nature set against the backdrop of three different cultures: pleasure in Italy, devotion in India, and on the Indonesian island of Bali, a balance between worldly enjoyment and divine transcendence. I love this book. Have I said that yet? Okay, so three lessons I got from this book, and for each of them, I will just say the lesson and read something briefly from the book. So, the first lesson I got was, as a woman, I must learn to be a companion to myself first before seeking friendship with others. As a woman, I must learn to be a companion first to myself before seeking friendship with others. And I'm going to read from the very, very first page. Page 7, actually, page 7. I wish Giovanni would kiss me. Oh, but there are so many reasons why this would be a terrible idea. To begin with, Giovanni is 10 years younger than I am, and like most Italian guys in their 20s, he lives with his mother. These facts alone make him an unlikely romantic partner for me, given that I'm a professional American woman in my mid-30s who has just come through a failed marriage and a devastating, interminable divorce, followed immediately by a passionate love affair that ended in a sickening heartbreak. This loss upon loss left me feeling sad and brittle and about 7,000 years old. Purely as a matter of principle, I wouldn't inflict my sorry, busted up old self on the lovely, unsullied Giovanni. Not to mention that I have finally arrived at the age where a woman starts to question whether the wisest way to get over the loss of one beautiful brown-eyed young man is indeed to promptly invite another one into her bed. This is why I have been alone for many months now. This is why, in fact, I have decided to spend this entire year in celibacy. Okay, I'll end here. This is the very first page of the actual, book, and I remember reading this and thinking, oh my goodness, especially the line where she talks about she being at a certain stage in her life as a woman where she's wondering if, just having another lover after one failed one is really the best thing to do. And I can't help but sort of relate in a certain way. I mean, not in my current situation now, but I don't think anybody told us this, but for some reason we think that we always have to be with somebody else to be happy or to find ourselves or to enjoy life. But as I age, yes, I am aging, gracefully though, I realize that it is actually quite important for us as women to learn to be comfortable, in our own little spaces alone, to feel okay, to love being alone, enjoy certain things alone before we seek friendships with others. I believe friendship is very important. I believe marriage is a great institution. I am married, as you can see. I've been married for almost 12 years. I love it. Um, um, and in spite of all these, I also think that it's very important for us to enjoy being alone first before we seek that friendship. And reading this really reiterated that for me. There was a point in my life where I would always want to do something with someone. Hey, let's go here, or even my husband, let's do X together and Y together. It's great, but it's also okay to be alone and do things for yourself without the kids or without friends, just alone. Like recently, I did a trip alone. I did a solo trip to 3 different countries and I loved it. It was very short, but I loved being alone. I loved discovering things on my own. I loved sleeping whenever I wanted to. I loved taking the walks or drinking tea or enjoying my food, or it's also okay, whatever it is that you enjoy doing alone. Reading, some people prefer going to the beach or whatever it is that you enjoy doing alone. I think that's okay too. So that lesson really for me was very important. The lesson number one, which is, as a woman, I must learn to be a companion to myself first before seeking friendship with others. This is something I have come to discover, and I have come to really pay attention to it and do more of it. I love it, actually. The second lesson is our relationship with God is more important than the rituals. Our relationship with God is more important than the rituals. And I love the story that this comes with. I'm going to read from page 205 to 206. Right. The Indians around here tell a cautionary fable about a great saint who was always surrounded in his ashram by loyal devotees. For hours a day, the saint and his followers would meditate on God. The only problem was that the saint had a young cat, an annoying creature who used to walk through the temple meowing and purring and bothering everyone during meditation. So the saint, in all his practical wisdom, commanded that the cat be tied to a pole outside for a few hours a day, only during meditation, so as not to disturb anyone. This became a habit, tying the cat to the pole and then meditating on God. But as years passed, the habit hardened into religious ritual. Nobody could meditate unless the cat was tied to the pole first. Then one day the cat died. The saint's followers were panic-stricken. It was a major religious crisis. How could they meditate now without a cat to tie to a pole? How would they reach God? In their minds, the cat had become the means. And it goes on to say, Be very careful, once the still, not to get too obsessed with the repetition of religious ritual just for its own sake. And being a Christian, I am a Christian, I believe in Jesus. I love Jesus actually, and I believe in having a strong relationship with him. And also, being a Christian and being a Methodist, we have certain things that we need to do, or certain rituals, let's say. For instance, going to church every Sunday, going for Bible class on certain days, giving our tithe and all that. These are religious practices that we grew up with, we've been taught, and I think they are great. But I feel that sometimes we focus so much on the rituals that we forget the most important thing, which is really communing with God, having a relationship with him, having that encounter with him. And sometimes we care so much about what people say. Like, if you don't go to church on Sunday, oh my God, Christian sister, why didn't you come? Sister and brethren, and people are, as if that in itself is the sin. I feel that we should really pay attention to our relationships with God, like the individual communication, talking to him, praying to him, asking him for guidance, making sure we are okay with him, we are at peace with him. I feel those are way more important than these rituals that we focus so much on, like that's the most important thing. That's what will get us to heaven. Hallelujah. Anyway, this is just a lesson that I had, and this is a realization that I have had. And I pray that, God in his own wisdom will lead us all to really find what matters to him, and not just pleasing people with rituals and the various things that we feel we must do in order to be called Christians or Muslims or whatever it is that, whatever religious beliefs that we have. So I'm just going to repeat my second lesson. Our relationship with God is more important than the rituals. Then the last lesson, actually, I'm not going to read from the book for the last lesson, but it's something I realized as I was reading. I must stop wishing for my desires and instead, plan to live them. I must stop wishing for my desires and instead plan to live them. So Elizabeth, who was, let's say, a bit like me, she was married at the time. Well, she divorced. I am not divorced. By God's grace, I have a very beautiful marriage. But she had a career. I have a career, and at a point, she made a decision to travel, and she did it. She went to 3 different countries, and a lot of us, including myself, wish for things, but we never do them. We only sit and wish, I wish. And we see someone else do it and, I wish. But we never take the step to do it. And it's really sad. We never do it. And then one day we are just either too old or we just die or something. I feel that God has given us so much already. Why are we sitting wishing instead of planning towards it? I have really come to the point in my life where I don't wish anymore. Look, if I desire something, I have this book, I write my desires and thoughts and stuff, prayers in it. I'll put it in and I'll work towards it. Yes, and sometimes the desires are quite a lot, so I prioritize. Okay, do A first before B. I mean, I really wanted to see Singapore. I wanted so badly to see badly. I planned for it, the opportunity came, I took it, and I went. I mean, I didn't have to go there, but I went anyway because I really wanted to see it for myself, especially before the girls' trip that we are planning. I wanted to see Dubai. This was years ago. I had an opportunity to go to Paris. I said, you know what? Let's pass through Dubai. Let's use Emirates and stop over. We did it. Same way, I really wanted to see Paris. Actually, I love Paris that much. My daughter is called Paris, named after the city after I'd seen it. I planned for it and I did it. And why not? Let's do it. Why can't we do the things we desire? Plan for it. I planned for it. I think this was maybe 10, 12 years ago with my friend, one of my bestest friends. We just took a trip to Paris, and till now we talk about this trip because it was so beautiful. Okay, so yours may not be a trip. It may be something you really want to do. Whatever it is, stop wishing Plan for it and do it. It's actually possible. I kid you not. I don't have a lot of money sitting in my account. If I tell you, you may not believe it, but it is not as simple as you may see me and think, oh, I have all that. No, but I plan for things and I make it happen. I decide, look, I see people do things and I feel like I desire that too. And I work for it. Sometimes I even ask them, look, how did you do ABC? I also want to do it. And then I plan for it like she did. She went to Italy. My goodness, it's on my list. She did Bali. Thank God I've seen it. She did India. I haven't seen India yet, but I know the opportunity will come when I really desire it and I will go. Actually, I think I desire to go to India, especially after going to Pakistan. So anyway, my point is, let's stop wishing. People come in, hey, Nama, you have the Fabulous Woman Network and you're doing well. I wish I could do this. Or you speak and I wish you do videos and I wish, like, just do it. Just do it. I really don't know. Plan for it. If it's not something you can do immediately, plan for it and do it. But stop wishing. The things that people are getting that are great, they are not getting it because they are special, but they work for it, and so can you also work for what it is that you desire. Is it a beautiful home? Is it a nice smelling home? What is it? Is it what is it? It is possible. Plan for it and just do it. So really, these are my 3 lessons. As a woman, I must learn to be a companion to myself first before seeking friendship with others. Secondly, our relationship with God is more important than the rituals. Third, I must stop wishing for my desires and instead plan to live them. So these are the 3 major lessons I got from this book. I had a few others, but for the purpose of time, I want to just stick with these. So I just want to thank you for watching me up to this point. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, the Fabulous Woman Network. And if you're a woman, I want to encourage you to join our Facebook group called the Fabulous Woman Community so that you can get updates of our events and our activities. So really, my organization, the Fabulous Woman Network, we support the growth of women-led businesses through entrepreneurial development activities such as conferences, events, trips, anything that will help empower us as women so we can do business better, impact people, and be economically independent or financially independent as well. So do join us. The Facebook group is called the Fabulous Woman Community. Until I come your way again with the next book, which I'm going to announce to our Facebook page shortly, I wish you the very best. May God be with us all. Amen. Once again, my name is Amma Duncan and I'm founder of the Fabulous Woman Network. Bye.